Good evening, welcome to the Town of Southbridge Board of Health meeting. It is now 6 p.m., September 15th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Nicole Duffy,
Here.
Anthony Postoli,
Yeah.
Dan Grabowski,
Yeah.
Paige Shipka,
Here. So close.
Jasmine Canones.
She's absent.
Excuse.
Should go.
You're getting there. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Stage fright.
Okay. The first meeting on the first item on the agenda is to accept the meeting minutes. Has everybody got a chance to look at
I
those?
looked over them. I didn't see anything wrong. I mean, spot on.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as is.
Second motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Paige Shipka.
There you go.
Jasmine Canones, excuse. Nicole Duffy.
Yes.
Thank you. Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Anthony Postoli.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Okay, and 6:05, we're still a little early with that. We'll do the Tom's Variety first because technically we've got a couple more minutes early. And we got at the top. Okay,
You want to do
We'll
citizens
just-
forum before Thomas's?
sure. Well, we got 5 minutes, so we'll have to continue it. Okay. Citizens Forum is open. Does anyone have, is there any citizen that has something they want to discuss or a question before, that's not on the agenda, please? Stand, please. Can you come over here, please? Right in the front, thanks. Just for organization, just to let everyone know, I think what I'm going to have people do is just come up right here and speak, so that way it's uniform. Okay?
My name's Kevin Buxton, 28 Columbus Avenue. I have a former history with the Board of Health as a member of the Sustainability Committee as well as the landfill oversight. I realize there are other pressing matters right now, but I would like to eventually ask the Board of Health to reinstate the landfill oversight if it was in some way, shape, or form canceled.
Kevin, why?
Because it's not done. As a matter of fact, I just attended, participated with the Conservation Commission walk through, and they are still closing out final conservation items. It's not complete, it's not done. I realize I've been in the process of having to reinstate my participation in the trail committee because in the course of the 3 years with COVID, I lost my term ran up, so I had to reapply. The landfill oversight is a bit different. I was sworn in indefinitely, and I have a feeling the town manager and the Board of Health at the time realized that landfill oversight will not go away. As a matter of fact, I just found out that Casella will oversee the landfill till I'm 92 years old. I don't think I'm going to be on it that long, but the landfill is a perpetual care situation. I'm not saying that the landfill oversight ever had any drastic changes, but quarterly, we sat down with Tracy Markham, who has now been moved to a different position within the company. But every quarter, we sat down with Tracy Markham and discussed what was going on with it. The last meeting we had was, I'm going to say 2018, but it wasn't completely done. They were still raising gas pipes, procedure where they have to go along. The visit I had last week, the big bare mountain is now green. The grass is starting to grow in. The shrubbery, I was really surprised at where they had their scale house and everything. You can hardly see the blue building. The trees have grown up so big. There's a small wetland area between the two areas, and the place is starting to grow back into a natural site. There are still situations that landfill oversight should participate.
Okay, thank you. Noted, thank you. 6:05. Okay. And 6:05, continuation of public hearing, Thomas Variety. Could you please step forward, sir? Hi, how are you?
Good.
Is there anything that you'd want us to know or anything?
Just
before
like
going
we talked about the last week, and whatever the disease, and I'm gonna be waiting for your disease. What you can do, This all depends on everything on you.
forward?
I already explained everything what I can last meeting,
Right. And last time, we actually put it back on the tobacco agent to provide us with some documentation.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
which they did.
Does anyone else have any comments before I?
That's very clear.
Manufacturer to supply if you have
Oh.
a point.
So let me ask for the first question to you. In the past week, have you thought about ways or reached out to? I know that the distributor, manufacturer are ultimately the people now.
I already strictly told them to be now on any items you're gonna be sending. Without my permission, you can send in my property.
Okay.
I sent them to be text them, and I told them without my permission, you don't gonna be send them. So first things, any items they're gonna send me, they're gonna ask me my permission. And when they're gonna ask me for that items, I'm gonna be researched on that items, and then I'm gonna be say that to send me now.
Okay.
And that's the only one things I can do. And I'm gonna be asked them every time they send me the items, I'm gonna be asked for the manufacturing later with it. That's the only base I can do about it.
So you have a set inventory, so
So whatever the inventory right now we have is all like legal by the state of the Massachusetts. And the new items, we don't gonna be add them up anymore.
Okay.
So any new items we're gonna be getting it, we're gonna be already strictly told to the distributor. You don't supposed to be send me directly without my permission. So if you send me, I'm gonna be return it right away. And if you are asking my permission, I'm gonna research first, and then I'm gonna be need. If you send me down, so I need the manufacturing later with it. That's what I told them to my salesman.
Is that usually what they do? Is just send you
So-
new items, or?
Yeah, they usually we have the contract with every single company by the basis on a contract. So they automatically when the new items comes in the market, they distribute you. So that way you don't forget it.
Okay.
So we have like a contract with the Dutch Master, we have the contract with the games, or whatever the Phillips Morris or any companies. They all any items, the new cigarettes or anything that comes, they automatically they send us down. But I already broke the whole contract. Anyhow, they don't pay us anyhow too much money. So I said they break it everything. Now on without my permission, you don't send me anything in my property.
Right. Thank you.
That's the only one thing I did it in the last week. On Monday, to go first things in, I said that don't send me anything. I didn't take any delivery on this week from my distributor. I said I don't want to take any delivery. So this week I didn't take any cigarette deliveries or cigar delivery this week.
Okay.
Do they generally send you manufacturer the manufacturer letters for your
No.
items? They generally don't.
We didn't even know about we need the manufacturer letter. The guy, after I left and I talked with the gentleman over here, and he explained me. So now on the any cigar we have the new comes in the market or anything comes in my building,
Right.
we're gonna be attached to manufacturing later with it. So any cigar like a Dutch Master send us any new items on my store, I'm gonna be asked for the manufacturing later with it. Even they were flavor or not flavor.
That's
We
something
just
that
will
you
be-
have to request yourself.
Yeah, so if there was a flavor or not flavor, we're just gonna be asked for the manufacturing later. So in the future, we don't be getting that problem.
So in the past, any of your items, did the manufacturer automatically send you one, or you still had to
No,
request
we
that?
already requested, so they're gonna be saying
have
the
to
1
send.
month to the we're gonna get it. So by end of the September, we're gonna get the latest for it. That's what they asked me and I applied for it. To be a distributor, to be send me the manufacturing later. So but that item we're not selling right now, we put them in a site. We took it out from the shelf, we put them in a corner until we don't gonna get the manufacturing later.
Okay,
That's what they suggest us.
okay. One question I had, I'm not sure if you can recall, I made a note of that, I took a look at all the attachments that they had sent. The items that were in the back, did you see that one on there? The items that were kept in the back? I'm trying to look. The Acid Blondie and the Cuba Cube, I believe
Yeah,
it
we
was.
locked it, we don't give it to the any customers or anything, we don't open the anything, so everything is locked.
But,
We don't sell it.
right, so it looks like on August 3rd, they said that was in the back. Was that in the back because they took it
No,
off the
we-
shelf and put it in the back, or is that one in the
they said
back?
that you can lock it, don't sell anybody, so we locked it.
Okay. Was that on the shelf at all, or no?
Yeah, there wasn't a humidor cigar, so we can't take it out and put it in the bag. We
Okay.
have to left it in the humidor, otherwise the item is gonna be get bad. Then they're
Okay.
not gonna be resettable after that, just like a milk.
Okay,
So we have to leave it in the humidor, but we can sell it on that one.
okay. But those were on the shelf, and the inspector is the one who said to take it
Yes,
off the
but
shelf and put it in the back?
they didn't tell us we need the manufacturing later before. In anything, the day they came down, they tell us we need the manufacturing later. So then we, August 3rd, right away, we apply for the manufacturing later.
Okay,
So manufacturing later, we're gonna be get by end of the September.
okay.
So right now, up to the end of the September, we're not gonna be sell that product until we don't gonna get the manufacturing later.
Okay. Do you remember, do you recall when they brought the educational material to you the first time? Do you recall when they brought that to you?
When they bring me any educational later.
The guidelines so that, do you,
That guidelines didn't say that you need the manufacturing later. That's the new things that comes out after that. You can ask to the gentleman still over here.
okay,
I forget his name, so that's why I call him gentleman.
that's okay.
I'm sorry, I was looking at paperwork. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
About you telling about the manufacturing later, there was not saying in a guideline.
Well, it was,
But you didn't send us to before to be about the like we needed.
well, actually, the retail education that was signed for in your
Yeah.
store by Cheryl
What's his name?
Nesta, that shows that we were out
Rick.
and delivered those materials, and in the educational materials.
Excuse me, Rick, could you come over here? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sure.
Just be easier.
Yeah, that later we get it, but this
Thank
one
you.
they didn't even say that it was a need to manufacturing later.
Well, it did. And I think you guys all get a copy of this, the sign-off sheet.
Could I take a look at that?
Sure.
actually? I saw it, I got it in the email. Thank you.
So Thomas Variety, Cheryl Nesta had signed, and that was when we were out delivering the educational materials. And in the educational materials, it clearly states that as of June 1st, 2020, all retailers are required to obtain a letter from each manufacturer of all tobacco and vape products each retailer carries, verifying the manufacturer's list of non-flavored products.
So this is basically outlining what this entailed, what was left there?
These were the educational materials. That signature is confirmation.
Is saying that they received
that they were
those
received.
materials?
Yes,
Can we take a
but
quick
that
look at
time
that?
was acid was
Thank you.
not on a list, right?
Thank you.
Well, I don't believe. Are you referencing the
They're
August?
talking about the acid cigar. They're talking about.
The question I have,
I
the
know.
dates, it doesn't specify any signatures. Did you see that? But the dates, it's not like.
Right, but the August 3rd violation wasn't for the acid blondie.
Yeah, that's what she asking about the acid cigar.
Okay, but the August 3rd violation, the violation that the board is going to determine, fault or an error in the procedure is relative to the game cigars, the Blooming and Blue Palmer.
Yes, but Nicole had asked him a specific question about
Yeah.
that's why he was asking.
Oh, okay.
Right, the
Okay.
manufacturer letters, yeah.
Yeah, but
Manufacturer letters.
manufacturing, like, are you asking about the acid manufacturing later? That time they didn't talk about the acid manufacturing later. The acid manufacturing later, they asked about it later on. They said the acid is a flavor.
Right,
That time they asked me about it. The another cigar I know about, you need the manufacturing later for some cigars.
okay.
But not for the acid. I didn't know about the acid cigar, you need the manufacturing later. So this violation is not for the acid cigar.
But again, the retailers are required to have manufacturer letters in-house for all tobacco products.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Good.
There is a list, right, of everything that's sold in the state that's illegal? I mean,
No, there is, unfortunately, the state does not have a master list of all products that are either allowed or prohibited. It would be so much easier for us, it would be easier for the retailers if there was. But the manufacturers of these products kind of get crafty, and it's very fluid and it's changing constantly, so there is no master list. unfortunately.
But the right thing to do is if you see something you're not sure, you could look it up, right? To see if it's,
Well, the required thing to do for the retailers is any tobacco product that comes in for retail sale, the onus falls on the store owner to make sure they obtain a manufacturer letter for said product, so that here's the proof, excuse me, showing that it's not a flavored product.
So so is it supposed to be across the board that the manufacturer should automatically send that, that list to them, or they have to actually request it?
They have to request it, they have to follow through on it. There is no requirement on the manufacturers that they need to supply those letters with the products.
I took a look at the, actually I think it was the Blue Minis, and I was looking at the packaging, and I couldn't see on there. To be and I noticed in one of the documents that was in the emails, it was I believe it was dated December 1st, 2021.
Yep.
It was talking about how there has been some confusion as
Oh,
far
absolutely.
as very I mean, it was saying the blue and the green were flavored, but however, the green sweet, if I'm correct, wasn't flavored.
Non-flavored, yeah, I saw that.
And
yeah.
I was like, wow, that's really confusing.
And
I would be confused, yeah.
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
a product with, say, fruit in the name that is non-flavored, but you
Right.
have a
Right.
product that is very ambiguous
Right.
and it is flavored.
That's very confusing.
It is.
Exactly. One thing I did want to point out with this list, though, the sign-off sheet, is that I understand that you have all the signatures, but it's not clear as to when they received it because you got 3 dates on top.
So the inspector, Jody Briganti, who's with me, who
Hi,
had
how are
gone
you?
out to do, these are 3 different dates.
Right.
Am I correct that you had gone out and done Southbridge and had
Right.
various locations? It's because the retail inspections or the retail education they're very time consuming. There is no way to come and do Southbridge in a day. So that's why there are 3 separate dates. It doesn't list specifically which.
And they are really good. They came down, they put the signs over there. They just make sure that we have all signs on a hanging and under 21s and everything. They checked everything. They're perfectly fine. You know, all the times they checked it, and we never had any issues about anything. You know.
Okay. Do you remember, so is that safe to say this is actually what he got? or
Oh, yeah,
not?
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
And
what you
there's
got.
other-
Okay, so you just,
There's other
okay.
materials included in that packet as well, I
Yep.
believe.
I saw in the email.
Yeah,
like the-
it shows the signage.
Yeah, I saw the
and-
signage and
yeah.
everything like that, okay.
And again, you know, ideally for this program, every store never sells to youth. They're all aware. They don't sell any flavor. We are looking for compliance, and we do above and beyond to educate and inform, so that the stores have the
Yeah, I
best,
looked at it.
are fully
Oh, you did,
informed, and have
yeah.
the tools and resources at their disposal to not end up in this situation.
I thought it was actually very confusing. I mean, and I get the ever changing of, you know, things, and, you know, as a business owner, it's your responsibility, right, to make sure that you stay up to date, but, I mean, I just struggle, you know, person's been in business for so many years, this is their first offense, you know, and to me, I put myself in their shoes, and I was like, looking at the products, and even I was like, well, how am I supposed to know this is like, you know, like.
It was very confusing. yeah.
Because it didn't say on there, really, on the packaging, it really didn't
I was
say.
specifically trying to look on the packaging.
Has
I
it,
couldn't
had
find
it said something, then I probably would have been like, well, you know,
Yeah.
well, this is what we're, but it really didn't say anything. And how are we supposed to know 1 minute to the next, from peach to orange to menthol to, you know?
That's the whole point, you know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
listening to all this detail. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what it comes down to, if you're selling a product, you need to know
Right.
what it is.
And I think this
But
might-
I do
yeah.
recognize, I mean, yeah, the process is confusing.
Yeah.
There's high turnover as far as you have this new product.
Sure,
The
sure.
onus isn't on the manufacturer to send the documentation
Sure.
with the product, which is ass backwards to me. I'm sorry.
Especially
Yeah,
if it's-
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So,
Yep.
but then at the same day though, how many tobaccos do you sell in your store?
On a regular basis,
Yes.
mostly we sell the cigarettes lot. Tobaccos on like a games we sell lot.
Yeah. I mean,
So the expectations are when you walk into an establishment, you expect to see all paperwork for all tobacco product,
Yep.
but even Marlboro or something.
Yep, that is
And that's where you
technically the
learn.
requirement, yeah.
And do you have any of that documentation?
For the
For-
regular ones, everybody's selling like a Phillies
Yeah.
blunt and everything. I don't think so. We need
Okay.
that
Well,
requirement.
I know that's a
It's the only
silly
for the-
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just speaks to if you had some, then
Yeah.
you should have had it
So-
all, but you don't.
Right, so you have no letters of certificate?
No,
Okay.
because there's not like a regular basis.
No.
The regular uses, like the Marlboros and everything. You don't even need it on that one.
Right.
And just.
So I bet it, like if any stores you go, probably no stores even have any
Yeah, sure.
regular
You can come up.
cigar have it, the manufacturing later for it.
Right.
You can come up over here. It's okay.
I'm not sure if I spoke with you
No, no.
when I did the inspection at the store.
Yeah, that's why I said that,
Okay.
I have the invoice, that's it I have.
Right, so at that time, I told you to contact your distributor, and they
Yeah.
do have an email that they will
I
send
just,
to you.
right away I contact with them, they said the end of the September they're gonna email me the,
Because
for
usually
the
they
essay.
just send it when you request it. They have.
I
like
requested, he
to-
said that he requested to the manufacturing, they're gonna be sent it later. So what we did, we just took the lock out, we took the key out and we don't sell any cigar. We just left it over there, we just said out of the
Well, it
order.
was just it's not all of your cigars, it was the two
Yeah, but
that
I want to do
identified.
all manufacturing later now, for the cigars, because in the future I don't want any kind of the So I said, all the expensive cigars, they send me the Cormac, they send me all cigars anyhow. So I said, every cigars I order from you, I need the all manufacturing later. So in the
Oh.
future, I don't have any problem. He said, okay, give me the 1 month, I'm gonna be sending down
Good call.
everything. So even
I
the
know that I
Romeo and
do- I know
Juliet,
that the
Romeo
rep-
and Juliets and flatheads and everything, he's gonna send me every single latest. So that way I have everything's on the file now.
You
Right.
might want to try calling him again and just see
Yeah.
if, because the Cormac rep that I've dealt with in the past
Yeah.
just has one right on his, and he just emails it right to his.
Yeah, see, remember you came down and I saw you, I have the invoice, I don't do it, they just send me down. So I told them, I said, don't do it.
Right,
So
right.
they said, okay, we're not going to be sending the delivery. So this week, I lose the business. This week I didn't take any delivery. I talked with their boss, I said, I don't want to break my contract. Okay, they're going to give me in a different stage. So now on the next week, I'm going to get the start the new delivery. So this week I didn't get any cigarettes or anything. Because we broke the contract with them for the Cormac.
Oh, so you're not doing,
I didn't get any cigar or cigarettes because we broke the contract. We don't going to be take the direct delivery from them. We're just going to be placed the order ourselves. So we lose the basically business for this week too, Because I have to break the contract, otherwise they're going to keep sending me the stuffs,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if they send you new stuff and you're
Yeah,
not
so I
expecting.
broke the
it,
contract with
to-
the
and
Cormac
get-
to direct distributing. I said I'm going to be ordered by myself now.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And this is just so that the retailer is aware and that the board is aware too, that, moving forward, if retailers don't have the manufacturer letters on site and available for the inspectors,
it's a
it's
$1,000 fine.
it's a $1,000 fine as well, so just be aware that this is something that you
All
wanna get
products.
and wanna get.
For all product?
Even the Phillies blunt.
No, it
that
wouldn't
we
be
do.
$1,000 per product, it would be, well, if there was a letter that was missing. that
Yeah,
would be
but,
So you need the Phillies blunt, Phillies Titan or
everything?
anything?
Technically you do.
Damn.
When an
All of
inspector
the
goes in, the inspector is
houses.
not looking for a manufacturer letter from Marlboro.
Okay,
Or-
that's what I
or-
wanted to,
right.
it's the unique kind of.
It's, right, a product that we're looking at and we're kind of questioning. Where's the
Okay.
manufacturer that can show it, well, here's the
So you
proof
have to
that it's
register.
not.
Okay,
Sign
I would,
it.
I can understand that, okay, thanks.
But you gotta register. and-
You could, it
oh,
takes
yeah.
sense.
Ouch. Yeah.
But I just wanted to make mention, just for the heck of it, I called another smoke shop just to ask, about the manufacturer's letters, and they're like, I never even seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay. So, yeah. But I'm just, my point being is, obviously there's something wrong with the whole manufacturer,
I
they're
think so,
not doing
yeah.
their
And I
part,
think
yeah.
this serves also
Yeah.
as a good educational tool, I think.
I just have one question, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Dave.
Do we know how many different types of products that are illegal in the state at all? We don't, do we have any kind of,
They
so
don't
everything
like
that he might be getting in could be illegal, right, to sell?
Well, it could, there's a possibility.
I mean,
my goodness.
I
the
don't-
ones that people are getting caught, those aren't the only ones. There's gotta be
No.
other stuff that's
There's
being
tons of other
mailed to
stuff,
us.
Oh, of course, right,
So
I mean, we
if-
come across,
For flavored, yeah, like now there's like this whole flavor ban, but there's no way of knowing.
But the thing is, they don't just mail you this stuff, do they?
Yeah, they
You have
do.
to order it?
No,
That's
the
another way-
manufacturer
when I'm doing
sends it to you.
inventory,
No, that's what they're saying,
when I'm
yeah,
short,
they just mail it,
well,
Yeah.
they just send it, that's,
They just send
it's a new
it.
product.
Yeah.
also someone sent me something.
Yeah. Ditto. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. So I think on just the one thing, I understand that you have a whole lot of people to see, but I do have a problem with the dates. It's not I mean, if someone's signing something, you need a date, you know, as far as when they signed it, and it's not
Sure.
clear. It's not clear when you got that at all. And on the 27th of March, it wasn't specified what products there were. I know it was generalized, but it wasn't really specified that I saw.
The March 27th.
Yep,
violation.
yep. Yep.
So it's 27th.
I have a copy of that violation over here.
Okay.
March 27th.
It
That
gave,
was-
it gave a generalization, but it wasn't
Well, no,
really-
it was White Owl Cigar, Dutch Master, Game, Backwoods, Black and Mild. These are the actual flavors of the specific brand name.
Right, but this is like a separate form. It wasn't like it was together. You know what I mean? It wasn't like,
Well,
You know.
so for this particular location, March 7th was the first.
oh, March 27th, sorry.
March 27th
Yep, yep.
was the first visit where flavor was
Found.
found. The second was
August 3rd.
May 7th. The third was August 3rd. Now, for the first two, March 27th and May 7th, the reason that Thomas Variety was not fined and the permit suspension didn't come before the board is because the former director, Andy Pelletier, wanted the tobacco control agents to come in and be sworn as agents for the Southbridge Board of Health. So those two first dates weren't followed through on like they probably would have been for another community. Fast forward to the third violation, the
Can I
August
see the
3rd.
May one, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
And that's why we're here tonight.
Thank you so much. Okay. Can you show me what the specific product is in this one?
Yeah, so, oh, do you have the second, do you have the back side of the inspection form, Jody, by any chance, for the May?
If it's not there, I do not.
Because I didn't see that before, that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to see it.
There is a photo of Blue Game Mini,
Yep.
which would be my assumption, is the product.
No, I do not have that back page.
Okay. Blue Game was found on the March 27th.
Blue Game was, but Blue Game Mini.
Yeah, blue game is destroyed right away when they come down. We throw them away in the garbage front of the when he came down, you know.
And Blue Game Mini was
So whatever the
also
item we didn't know about it, we throw them away right away.
present August 3rd. So this particular product was present at all three inspections.
2 times. Because we got the first times in the delivery in a May.
The first one was just Game Blue on the
Game Blue.
27th. It was Game
Yeah,
Blue.
because we got the delivery in a May on a game blue, meaning. We didn't even sell it since May to the August. We didn't even sell the only 3 pieces we sell.
Yeah. well,
Yeah, if I knew that there was illegal, I'd throw them away a long time ago. It
Yeah.
only cost me $8.05, you know.
Right,
I don't
yeah,
want to pay
so,
$1,000 fine for it.
Right, yeah.
Anyone else have anything else to add at this point?
I know, I think, I think it's very confusing. I think this can serve as a good educational tool. I think there's a lot of bureaucracy with a lot of stuff going on, and, you know,
It's
I
not
look at it
clear.
from a, you know, there's just so much there's just a lot, you know, and I look at it from a business perspective, which is there's a responsibility here that has to be taken. But then with that being said, you know, I also, we're talking about a patron to the town that's been, you know, selling for a long time. And, you know, the level of offenses has been very little, and, you know, I consider this confusing, not as cut and dry as I thought it was actually gonna be, and I did some research with locals as well, and
Yeah.
nobody has the documentation for the, for these letters, even though I just found out that they're extremely accessible. I mean, you know, but, you know, it just seems to be like there's just something, we're missing something, you know, that,
right.
you know, and so I'm hoping that these kind of instances, you know, can kind of, you know, help our community to understand that these are things that are needed.
Absolutely, definitely not clear. Paige? Yeah,
I'm all set.
all set. Tony, thank you.
No, I think we beat this one.
Yeah.
So now the question is, we, as the board, can agree to the fine or oppose it with an administrative error?
I believe, I'm looking at this as an administrative error. That's how I'm
Likewise.
looking at it, yeah. It's too much, there's too much that's not clear, and especially given the fact that when he's saying he has new products and they're sending it to him without his knowledge. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And just the, you know, that memo that I had read about the whole blue-green and, you know, just, that was
Yeah,
completely
there was
confusing
just
as well,
too much,
yeah. Yeah.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to make a vote on to accept it or not accept it? I make a motion.
What's your motion?
What's your motion?
To,
I need the,
to not accept it. Bec-
So-
Because
so
of,
it's,
because of the,
the administration error?
there are a lot of stuff, I mean, you can't, I know the person's been down here a couple times, but you can't, I mean,
Just a lot.
technically he's guilty, but there was so much stuff going
Yeah.
that, one hand he is, but there's a lot of stuff going the other way too.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that from here going on, about going forward, is you have to, you're just gonna have to, if you see something, you're gonna have to, you know,
Yeah,
investigate
you gotta
it.
be on point now.
I
Yeah.
can see where errors are made and you have a business. I would say, I'd make a motion to not accept it as
The violation, okay.
Yeah,
as violation
administrative.
this time around.
it's administrative
There's
error.
an error in the
Administrative
Administrative
error.
error.
Inspection.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, folks.
Administrative error.
Second, can I second it?
I second the motion.
All right, we're gonna do a roll call. Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Jasmine Canonis?
Yes.
Nicole Duffy?
Yes.
Paige Sushka?
Yes.
Anthony Costello?
I'm on the fence.
I say yes, but with the comments
Yes.
that it is ultimately your responsibility, and I think we all agree,
That's
it's a
what-
very, it's a confusing process. But at the end of the day, there's enough information that they provided to say, you should have known better. But
Right.
our goal here is not to make it hard for you in this community.
Seriously,
But-
it's not gonna be happened again.
That's what we
because
wanna
now
hear.
I know that, and it's not gonna be,
Right.
that's why I said that I stopped my delivery this week.
Right, so-
I lost the business for 1 week, I knew that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But
So next time, if
Yeah.
it comes in
No,
front of us,
no.
it won't even be a conversation.
Yeah, I said, send me the manufacturing letter, then send me the delivery, and whatever the stuff you send me, I'm gonna be ordered by myself. You're not gonna be ordering directly.
They're
So I
not
broke the
taking
contract with them to
responsibility.
the comma, so they're not gonna be doing the direct delivery anymore.
So just double check in case they slip any in,
No,
because
they
you're gonna
can't,
need
they
it.
can't, because I'm the person who's gonna be do the order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Good night,
time.
everybody.
Thank you very much for the time, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you're the chair, right?
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, I
You can
just-
stand up over here.
It must be
You
frustrating.
want to stand up over here, sir?
She's making everybody stand
Yeah,
now.
just because it gets out of control.
Come on out in front of us.
It gets out of control real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Let
wanted to
us.
say,
Yep.
I've been in his shoes, I've been in your shoes in another town, and it's frustrating, and the state has certain intentions when they pass a law, but what bothers me, when I asked this gentleman, who's trying to be as cooperative as possible, if the wholesalers need to be licensed, back when I had to actually have a license to sell tobacco. I don't know if they still have a license now. I don't know if that's, he didn't know. And to my thinking, if the wholesalers had to do this by law, if they were threatened with $1,000 fine, this wouldn't have happened. Your time is valuable. And yeah, this is important. I think I'd rather see them go after carcinogens instead of flavors, but they're doing something. A lot of revenue is made in this state on cigarettes. I bet you could save some of your colleagues in other towns time and retailers time and fulfill the intent and spirit of the law. I bet if you folks thought about this over the next week or so and came up with a letter to write to our state rep and the state senator, a copy to each, explaining the situation, it wouldn't be asking too much in this state that if you're sending these products, that you send the letters that the state is insisting on getting. Because it's so easy to say, oh yeah, well they're gonna send it to you right away. Not necessarily. Now, there are laws, like even the open meeting law, sometimes it's hard to get a town to fulfill the open meeting law. But if there's that's just, I don't wanna talk too much about it. You guys got other things to talk about.
Yeah, no, we got.
A letter to our legislators, that's their job.
Yeah,
They get
exactly.
paid well, and
Yeah.
it's good advice, and it'll
Yep.
save these people time.
Bye,
It'll save
take care.
You
Thanks
time,
again,
it'll save
guys.
your retailers.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, and we're a little over, but continuation public hearing of 209 Marcy Street declared. You want to abstain?
All right, I'm just gonna present the board with this packet, there's two. These photos were taken, I just went
Thank you.
around 5 o'clock today,
Today.
just to confirm.
Thank you.
Pass these around, sorry. Daniel last, but not least. Alright. So at our last meeting, we discussed a few things. Do you have can I take this for a second?
Yeah.
There it is. No, it's not. Where is it? Where is it?
See this one, thank
That one? Thank you. Sorry, I just want to make sure.
you. That's okay.
Minimum.
Take your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, so at our last meeting, the chair explained to Miss Gail Frank that she had 7 days to restore water, obtain a dumpster, access to egresses, and there was to be daily contact with the department. So yesterday, I believe it was the first time I had spoken with Miss Frank, and today I went for a re-inspection. I attached the photos for you all to see. There was access to both egresses, a small path.
It was, okay.
Yep. There was one smoke detector. I couldn't get it to work. They had a new in-box smoke detector that they said they would put up today.
Okay.
There is still a heavy accumulation of trash, debris throughout the house. I also attached a packet containing some information. The first page is that the house is set to be auctioned off on November 17th. It's in foreclosure. I also attached some tax information, what's owed on water and sewer. So I have some other information. On January 20th of this year, 2022, the water department changed the water meter. It was cracked and broken, so they replaced that. That's attached as a fee as well. July 12th, they were sent a letter because the water department believed that there was a blockage in their meter because it was reading as 0, which as we know is because they had no water turned on from inside. This follow-up letter was sent on August 8th, and a final notice was sent September 8th. I also included information from the tax collector's office. So from what's been explained to me from the tax collectors as well as the assessor's office, as there has been a consumption history of 0 consumption since June of 2020. So that means one of 2 things. Either they were getting free water up until February when the pipe broke, or there has been no water since June of 2020. There are some numbers in here. Let me just see. I made a note that on one of the last pages, this report from Eunice, you can see the usage is 0 here.
Yep.
These A's mean that's the actual. The most recent one is an estimate based on the anticipated use.
Right.
However, we know that that will be 0 as well. I did speak with Steve Gregoire, the manager over at the water department. They went yesterday at the request of Miss Frank to help them turn on the water from the inside. She was having issues. When they arrived, they were able to figure out
I'm sorry.
yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
When they arrived, they were able to see that there were cracks in the piping that were not repairable by the owner, and a plumber would be required. They turned the water off at the meter. So it's no longer, she can just flip a switch. The water department will need to go back to turn it on.
Turn it on. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So the progress that was made was, you said there was access to both egresses, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but no dumpster,
Okay. And obviously no pipe.
minimal contact,
And
yeah.
you said there's nobody up on the second floor?
No, the second floor is impassable.
No one lives up there, right?
I don't believe so. From when I was up there, there was no one else besides
Oh, hi.
Miss Frank and her daughter.
Hi. If you want to come over here, you can, or you can stay. It's up to you. I'll give you that option, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. Okay. Hi. Hello. So the first thing I do want to ask, though, is I know that we agreed that you would be in contact with us every day, and I'm not out to jump on you. I just want to know. I just want to know why that was.
Totally forgot I was working second shift. I work over at the nursing home, and by the time I went, oh man, I was supposed to call, the place would be closed.
Okay.
That's neglect on my fault.
Okay.
My part.
Okay.
And I do apologize for that. I really didn't mean to call. It's just
Okay.
with trying to find the dumpster in my price range. I would call them, and they would say, well, we don't have that size, but we do have the next one up, which is out of my price range.
Do you remember who you called at all? Which for a
There were
dumpster?
so many places
so
we
many
called,
places we
it's,
called.
if you
Yeah.
pick one, we probably already contacted them.
Okay. What do you have some money available for a dumpster? You said it was in your price range. Are you looking for something specific
We
or?
can,
I can budget it into my paycheck, but
No, I just didn't know
Yeah.
what you were looking. I know you had said you spoke with them and they gave you an offer, and you were saying that it wasn't in your price range. So I
Right.
just didn't know what that number was that you were looking for, unless you were talking about a payment plan or something with them. Is that what they were?
I was trying for a payment plan with them.
Oh, okay.
I am starting to search for a second job so I can
Okay.
afford more than what my paycheck is giving me.
and I too am looking for a job to assist with the
Okay. Is it just you two living in the home?
Yeah,
Okay.
And we live on the first floor.
And you both live on the first floor?
yes.
Okay.
My
This is-
brother had lived on the second.
It's your house? You own the house? Who owns the house?
I'm only on the mortgage, the second mortgage. It was my mother's name.
So it's been refinanced?
No, I was gonna try to refinance it.
So you're on a second mortgage? So it was your mom who owned it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So did you inherit the house? Is that what happened? You inherited the house, or?
There's no will.
Oh, so you're next of kin? Is that how that worked?
It's me and my siblings.
Oh, so who technically owns the house as of right now? Who?
The only thing my name is on is the mortgage. It was a second, I was a co-signer for my mom when
Okay.
she refinanced the house after my dad passed.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
Everything else is in my parents' name.
Has your mom passed, or okay? So your mother's name's on the mortgage, but you co-signed. Is
Yeah.
that what happened? Okay.
I had good credit
Okay.
then.
So when you get the bill and like, what is it?
It's in my mom's name.
It's in your mother's
Everything's
name?
in my mom's
Okay.
name.
Okay, understand.
So what's going on with the mortgage these days?
Well, right now, nothing, but I'm gonna go down to the bank and try to make some kind of arrangements to
So they
start
don't
paying that back.
foreclose on you?
Yeah. I've made arrangements to pay back taxes and
Mm-hmm.
the water bill. I've already made arrangements
So-
yesterday for that.
So let me ask you this,
Okay.
so since 2020, the meter has been reading
Zero.
0.
I
Have
had
you been
nothing.
without?
No, we've had.
You've had water?
We had water.
We're not sure what was wrong with the
I
meter.
don't
All right,
know
well, hey.
why
That, you know.
it
all right.
didn't read,
It should have been working
Right.
All
properly.
right, but you had it?
but we've had
Now-
water.
now-
And
So how long have you been without water?
February.
February.
Of this past year, February?
Yes.
Okay.
We have no
We
idea
ran
why.
out of oil, so everything froze, and that's when the pipes all got their leaks, and
Okay.
that's when.
So what are your plans for the winter if, so it's steam heat? So you
Yes.
need your water?
Yeah. I'm working on getting a
Yeah.
plumber in.
One
tomorrow.
obstacle at a time, right?
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Right.
Yes?
I was trying to figure so many things, I was getting overwhelmed and having
It can
panic
be
attacks, so
Mhm.
I'm just taking one challenge at a time.
So you cleaned up you made ways that you can walk
Yes.
through the first floor?
Yeah.
When did you
Yes,
do that?
yes, we did.
You did? When?
The past few days.
Okay. What's the next step? What's the plan?
Um,
A manageable plan. I know
A
you want to get a
manageable-
dumpster, I
yes.
know, but everything is money, money,
Yeah.
money.
I'm gonna start bagging the trash and stuff that my brother left upstairs. And we're putting our boxes, we're packing our things into boxes and we're gonna put them into storage so that they're out of the way, so we can concentrate more on getting all the trash and stuff into garbage bags for when I do get the dumpster. Then we can just put them right in the dumpster.
Are you utilizing the town pickup, the trash?
Yes, I am. I'm filling those things right up to the top, so the covers are partially open. And I am doing that too.
Right.
Can I ask, so I know you had said you were gonna, have you already done that, or you're going to, as far as see a bank to see if you could try to work out some sort of,
I have Wednesdays off, so I'm doing everything on Wednesdays.
Okay. No, that's fine, I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
did you already go, or that's your plan to go?
That's my plan to go
Okay.
down.
So
and
what I
talk to them.
wanted to know is that, have you at all, like, sought out help from any other programs or anything
I'm
like that? Or are
working
you
on
waiting
that.
to hear back from
I'm
anything?
waiting to hear back. Filling out applications.
Okay. Are you
For-
waiting to hear, I mean, are you waiting to hear back from something like specific as far as maybe like a dumpster or the pipe or like just,
We're waiting on the waiting to get back on the dumpster. We have a couple places that might be promising, and,
to make a payment plan to get a dumpster?
yeah,
Did they tell you when they will probably get back to you by, or no, they didn't really?
they didn't say
All I said, we'll get back to you shortly.
shortly.
Okay. When's the last phone call you probably made about the dumpster?
Was yesterday.
Yesterday? Okay. When was the first, just curious, for the dumpster?
About a month ago, I was already certain to get the plan.
Okay.
So with the colder weather coming in, how
Yeah.
do you plan on heating your house?
We had heaters before, spread out,
Infrared space heaters.
space heaters.
So you've had,
But
you've
I
had the
am-
electric on, so you've had
I
the
figure
space
if I
heaters?
can get the plumbers in and they can get the water back on, we'll be able to have the heat on, because we'll have the furnace back.
Okay. Have you been seeking out any other types of help other than, the dumpsters? I know you haven't gone to the bank just yet, but any other type of financial assistance or any other?
I'm looking into financial help for,
Okay.
through Worcester. There's a group in Worcester. I'm filling out an application for them for emergency help.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out other places to get help with. I've applied for food stamps to help us with food and
Okay. And again, there's nobody living on the second floor, correct?
no.
Okay.
no.
It's just you two and you're on the,
We're
on the first floor,
floor.
and that's it. Did you have a question? or-
My
You're
brother
answering the
was-
thing, you're answering, but, so you are in the process of working with someone in Worcester to do some form of eligibility for like housing assistance, or?
Yeah, I'm applying for that.
Okay. And what would that look like? Would you be looking to move out of the house, or would you be looking to try to, or do they provide help to repair your home?
I would like to try to stay in the house,
I'm sure,
but
but,
if I can't, then, we'll have to move, but. I
and you
would
put a
like-
fire alarm in your house yesterday or today? An alarm, fire alarm?
We're putting the new one up,
Yeah, do you have it done?
not yet, we will be.
Okay. I'm just concerned about space heaters and the
That's why I
situation of the
asked.
trash. and
Yeah.
That's a really dangerous environment, and not having any real heat, and it's very cold, and,
Mhm.
of course, in the housing situation. I don't know, I don't mean to be gloom and doom, I'm just worried, we worry about you,
Well,
I think,
I
and it's an
had-
unsafe
I did
environment.
have the smoke detectors, but when my brother moved out, he took a lot of things with him. And unfortunately, smoke detectors were one thing he took. I don't know why, but that was one thing he did take with him.
How long ago did he leave?
He's been out for a couple months now.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions or anything?
No.
I don't know what the next steps are, I mean.
Well, I think maybe there's more time given, but as we get closer to the winter, because I think we're all concerned
Yeah.
about anything going in to heat the house. So
Absolutely.
I do, so
Yeah.
maybe it's a touch point again at our next month.
No, absolutely.
Could we maybe set some goals about what we would expect, the expectations are for this coming up month, so that they would, and again, make regular contact with Emily about where you're going and what the plan is? I mean, that would be something that I think would be a good expectation, but like, let's talk about goals for next month. So
Yeah.
like even just getting, the trash and looking at what you have even on the first floor, so it's a livable first floor, and then garbage upstairs. So, I don't know, I mean, this is just me talking, but I want you to make sure, like, what you think you can do, and so it's reasonable that way. And then about plumbing, I mean, I don't know, because that's quite an expensive job,
It is.
and you're looking to keep your home, So a lot of variables here.
So with the plumbing itself, that's the whole, that's what you're
Yes.
looking to take a loan out to pay for a plumber and get that resolved. That's the whole, okay.
Do you,
Go ahead.
do you think you'll, I know for me, if I go down into my basement and my wife tells me I need to throw away some stuff, that's gonna be a fight with my wife, because I don't wanna get rid of any of my stuff. But, given the situation, are you gonna be capable of
Right.
kind of just
Letting
being
go.
realistic and saying, yeah, I gotta toss that stuff away? Is that gonna cause a little anxiety for you?
No, because we're packing the things we want and we'll be putting those into storage
Yep.
and then everything else can go.
But where's storage? Because storage costs money too.
Yeah.
So,
There's a storage place in town.
oh, I know that.
Yeah, there's
but
one
I'm
on
just
Ashland.
They're like
sorry about like finance.
Yeah,
Maybe
mine-
more
yeah, they
smarter
might-
to
yeah.
There's also one
work
on
on the more.
Charlton Street too.
Yeah.
I'm not, like maybe 150, 200 a
So,
month.
yeah, so let me ask you this, so not even on our end, I'm just on your end at this point, like, what's your top 3 things that's on your goal list for like the next week or 2? What's your top 3 things? This isn't a right or
The
wrong
plumber.
answer. Okay. Yeah,
The storage unit,
okay.
which there are a couple that are really reasonable and then be able to handle it, the payment for the storage.
What's number 3?
And number 3 is the dumpster.
Okay.
And so those are 3 pretty lofty.
Yeah.
So maybe it's even something as easy as I'm going to take a bag of trash out of my house every day. I mean, what
We
I
did
think
4 bags today.
perfect.
So-
Perfect. So maybe that could be your resolve to say, you know
Okay.
what? Rather than if you're holding things up for a dumpster, and I've heard that last week, and I understand it could be a struggle. So now I'm looking at other options, and my other option is right in front of me on every Wednesday. And you know what? If I were you, I'd be going over and running over to my neighbors and throwing a bag in hits. Sorry, guys. You know,
With
but
permission.
that's to me is a more realistic goal, because when we come back and we talk to you about this, that would mean a lot to me.
Yeah, I've been filling the dumpsters right up.
I have a question, but I think Mr. Buxton was first.
And actually, the board gets first appearance. I just wanted to piggyback on your other members' comments about, I appreciate the fact that they're utilizing your curbside pickup as much as possible. We also have the boat pickup,
Yeah.
which you have to be careful. You can't stack it all out on the street. It has to be 2 cubic yards in volume.
That goes furniture.
And it has to be called in advance. Marissa could maybe help you with how to schedule that.
Okay.
I think you're heading in the right direction. Take the steps you can. And good luck to the board and hoping
Thank
the
you.
situation get better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just had one more basic question, Madam Chair.
Sure.
Tony has a good idea about with the neighbor stuff, but how do, if we have curbside pickup, how come it wasn't used to like get rid of some of this stuff? I mean, is this stuff or is it trash? I mean, stuff like it stinks or anything, right? I mean, we're not talking waste, right? Food or anything?
No.
So this is just accumulation of stuff?
Accumulation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and then just going through to see what do you want to keep and what not to keep, right? Okay, I got you, thank you.
But the upstairs
Some of it
is full of
The
trash, right?
upstairs
And
is
some,
full of trash. It is,
which is dangerous.
yeah.
Can you focus on like maybe a lot of times one room? I think a lot of times that can be very helpful and so it's not so overwhelming, and just focus on one room at a time. That's always a suggestion for that,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, I
Emily
have-
had a question. Oh, excuse me.
I
Emily.
just wanted to make a statement before you make any kind of decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far, we've determined it's been 16 days. There has not been any water restored. I understand there's an effort made, but it's not enough. We need water restored. It's an accumulation of filth. I appreciate that we're calling it stuff, but there is a heavy odor. There is filth. There's animals living in the house. It's unsafe. The second floor has so much weight on it. The ceiling is bowing. It's bound to collapse. We are currently in a lawsuit for another property because a woman died in her home because we did not act on it. If anything happens here, there's no smoke alarms. If the space heaters catch on fire with the amount of stuff, it's their safety, it's their lives. I'm not trying to make them feel guilty. I'm not doing this because I think it's fun. This is terrible that we're in this position, but it's the board's responsibility to do what's best for their safety, not what's best for them emotionally.
Noted. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Can we, so, all right, so now you bring it to a whole different level.
Yes.
Now, has Mike been in there?
Mike has been in there.
And this is his,
He went in there on August 30th, 2022 with me. He expressed urgency to the residents that this is an unsafe structure. He, based on the amount of stuff, accumulation of stuff I'm calling it, the fact that the second floor and the attic are impassable, you can't even get in there.
That's okay. We'll just.
The amount of weight on there, unless he can visually open and see the floor joists, he can't determine 100% how much.
So he couldn't get up there to see it, is the problem.
Well, he would need to see on each level. But
you see a bow in the...
There's a bow in the ceiling. There's an accumulation of stuff, of filth. In the photos I had from last meeting, from the initial inspection of the second floor, I mean, there's heaps and heaps of trash, of just food waste, of all of this. I don't know what's under there. I don't know if there's rodent infestation. I don't know what's underneath. I can only see what's on the surface, but it's unsafe for them to be continuing to be living there. And I go back to the fact that there's no heat, so we're utilizing space heaters. If that catches on anything, there's no, even if there's a small path to an egress, the amount of stuff everywhere else, there's no guarantee there's getting out.
So let me ask you this, as far as the bow that he's seeing at the bend of in the ceiling, is at this point, is that going to be enough to take out the trash with that, or is that something even he can't see any further at that point? He can't see. We just got to get to step one first before he can get to that. Okay.
The ceiling has been like that for 20-something years. It was like that before my father bought the house.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't determine anything until he can get up there and see that.
Nobody ever went up into the attic.
Mm-hmm.
The attic there is full walking space all over the attic.
Do you have any way to stay in the meantime? Is there any way that you can stay while you're working on that?
We were staying in a hotel, but I can't afford that now.
Well, I mean, any friends or family or anything like that? There's nowhere else for you to stay in the meantime.
The only thing we could do is probably sleep in the car in our driveway. We can't go anywhere.
And when you were staying at the hotel, was that, are we talking like when it was in winter, or is that recent, or what prompted you to do that?
Recent.
Okay. What prompted you to, like, at that point in time, to go to the hotel and come back?
When they came in and inspected the house and said we couldn't stay there.
Okay.
But that's now going out of my budget with everything else I have to pay to get done.
So you feel unsafe in the house too, then to sleep?
I feel fine.
I think we need to make again, a plan, but like a very short term, like meaning like within a week or if I don't know.
Well, to identify the bigger priority right now, I mean, it seems like the upstairs at this point.
Yeah.
Emily, what would you say at this point would be the,
I had no clue
oh, hold on a minute.
what condition my brother was living in on the second floor until he moved out. And I went up and I was in utter disbelief that he was living that way. I never went upstairs. I told him that was his, you know, that was all his space. And we never went up.
Okay. Emily, what do you,
Emily.
so, yeah, so in the priority list there, what, in your opinion, what is the top? I know before you're talking about dumpster, but it seems like,
My recommendation from last week stands to declare it unfit for human habitation. I'm not gonna make a recommendation to the board that we should extend another week to get this place cleaned based on the fact that in 16 days, we don't have water, we don't have a dumpster. If there was a visible, and I'm not talking the path that we have for egresses, if there was a substantial improvement in the downstairs conditions, I feel that, you know, more time to clean the second floor that's not being utilized is reasonable. But just the path to and from the front to back door, I don't feel that's sufficient.
you say? Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I said I mean, that's fair.
Tony, any thoughts?
Is this the ceiling that you're referring to?
I know it's hard to tell from one image.
Can you just tell me who Mike is? I just don't know.
Mike Julian is our building inspector.
Okay,
I'm
very,
sorry,
so
Paige.
and he was, he too
I
agreed
think he's
with
in
you
the office
that it
if
was
you want me to
unsafe.
bring him down.
Are those water stains?
He agreed with you that it was
Yeah, it looks it.
unsafe.
Yeah, you
Yes,
wanna
he
go grab
was,
him?
he was
Yeah.
adamant.
Yeah, why don't you grab
when we
Mike?
went for our
If he's
initial
there, yeah.
inspection, that
Thank
he
you.
was concerned.
Okay.
Mike's a good guy.
Okay.
Hold on, guys, we're gonna go have her grab.
Yeah, we're gonna
some,
wait for
so
Mike,
we
he's
can-
the other inspector, so.
So yeah, you can have a seat then.
Yeah,
if you want.
thank you.
So you want to-
So you're requesting me to do something immediately today, Emily, is that right?
She's saying that she doesn't want them
I
in there
don't
right now.
believe that the property is habitable in its current condition.
Okay.
We're still going.
We're still going, Jen.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
I'll text you.
I mean, realistically, I don't, yeah,
I mean,
but just even looking at a timeline, I don't,
What gets me is the freaking trash. If you got a dumpster pickup, how do you get trash? You put it in a bag and you
that's
leave it.
a DMS behavioral, DSM, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit complex.
Often, all right.
It's difficult,
It's
yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of hard, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
it's an emotional.
I mean,
That's
it's
good
gotta
enough.
be done. Emily's right. Things have to be done,
Well,
but.
I didn't know about this lawsuit, that scares me.
yeah, a woman died when she was found standing up because she was trapped from the smoke.
The debris.
The fire,
oh, this
right?
fire,
Well,
oh.
there was a fire,
There's
there was
a
a
fire,
fire,
yeah.
and there
Lack
was
of
so much
access.
debris,
Mhm.
and she couldn't find her way out in
When was
smoke.
this?
It's currently in
Litigation.
court, but I think
Thank
it
you,
was 2
Mitchell.
years ago that she passed.
Hey, Mike, looking for your sage wisdom.
Does he need to sign this?
Looking for your sage wisdom on this.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Will
So,
you sign it?
yeah, no, thanks.
Just who you are.
Okay. So it's obviously all important, but I mean, I know others probably have questions, but my question is that, given everything, like what's the biggest priority at this point? The second floor or just the dumpster itself? Or what's the, if you had to say 1, 2, 3, like what's your top there?
In the order in which I feel it should be
Yes.
taken care of,
Yeah, as far as safety.
the tenants should be taken out of there, first off. Then the house needs to be cleaned and then assessed structurally. And the water issue obviously has to be fixed so that the water can get turned back on.
But just in related to like the safety itself, just like the top, like I said, it's all important. We know what we need. It's like, what's your top one?
What are you asking me? Are you asking me to give you a structural
Structurally, yes.
assessment?
Yeah.
There's too much stuff in there for me to adequately
look.
give you a structural assessment of this.
Shane, Mike, she said that this issue was well before, it's like 25 years. Is there any way you can validate that, or you're just looking at it now going, no, could have been 25 years, could have been 5 years with all the weight up there?
Next, we know you haven't been able to get in there and see, so we just,
Right. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. To me, it seems like a lot for 5 years.
okay.
25 years? I don't know if it's 25 years worth of stuff, but dig to the bottom of the pile. I'm sure something's got a date on it. Take one of the cans off the bottom of the pile. Looks for an expiration
Right.
date. There's ways that you can figure out how long it's been there.
Mike, what do you think, so these are water, that's water up on that?
The damage?
Yeah.
Yes.
It does appear to be water
Where,
damage.
where could that have possibly come from? That's the first
Pipes on the
floor
second
pictures, right?
floor.
Oh, pipes?
Yeah,
Running
pipes
through
to the second
ceiling?
floor bathroom, which is
Okay.
what she said let go, I think she said in February.
Yeah,
Which is the reason she shut the water off. However, records indicate the water's been off longer than just February.
I don't think,
that's what we're looking at.
We'll put a bowl in the ceiling. Water.
and so we must be dealing, did you see any mold?
Oh yeah, there's definitely could be mold up in the ceiling. Absolutely. Trapped space like that full of water, no way for the air to get to it. Absolutely could have mold. Could have rotten floor joists. Until you can, adequately move around in there, maybe pull down a section of the ceiling that's damaged and do a true assessment of it. There's no way. You can't even see the floor on the second floor.
Is there any room safe in this house?
Porch.
Due
Not
to
even
my
that.
past experiences with other situations, similar situations, we condemned them, we removed them, the people from living in it, and went from there. Some of them were torn down, some of them were emptied out and reconstructed.
Right, but you
Yeah,
can't assess
I know.
until,
Right.
These are tough
There's
questions.
just too much stuff in there for me to adequately
Assess
go
it.
through and say that it's structurally unsound right now. Are there indications that would show structural failure in some spots? Sure. Mold? Absolutely. But to say that the building's ready to collapse? No, I can't tell you it's ready to collapse. Do I feel it's unfit? Yes.
Because of the filth and the water?
Yeah, but it's a fire hazard. You can't barely move through there. If there was a fire in there, there's no way our firefighters are going to be allowed in the building or be able to go through the building to get anybody out. The egresses are blocked. There's no clear path or anything to get to an egress. You're climbing over stuff to get through the house.
understood. Okay.
You get it cleaned up, I'll give you an assessment of the structure. That's the best I can tell you from
Yeah,
there.
no, we just wanted to know, basically, like, from what you can see, well, I did anyway, just
Yep.
the ceiling, your assessment with that, what you can see.
Yeah.
And what was, I guess, to me anyway, I just want to know off the top, is that more of the priority, it seems, or the obvious trash with that? I didn't know how, but,
Well, to me, the priority is their health and safety. So
well, yeah, we know
need
that.
to make them safe
No,
first.
we know
and then
that, but as far as the breakdown of it, yeah, we
Right.
gotta take it one thing at a time.
I have one question. Looking at this picture, are those ceiling cracks right there?
Yeah, it's the panels on the ceiling. It's cracks in the paint and in the panels themselves.
Would that have
On
to do anything with the weight up top or anything, or is that
it
just
certainly
regular-
it certainly could, but it could also be water damage. And she said she had pipes that broke in the ceiling, so it certainly could be damage from the water. And what you're seeing is this ceiling happens to be panels, not just
that-
board and plaster.
It looks old.
Right. So
So like you said, yeah, all that stuff has to be cleared. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a big responsibility. That's a lot of work, but it has to be done, right?
yeah,
That's the only
Yeah.
way.
yeah, it's the only way I can make a true assessment of the building.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Anybody else have any more questions, or that's it? No?
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, not a problem. Have a good night.
Thanks, Mike.
Alrighty. So yeah, this is not an easy thing to do.
I think it's irresponsible just to continue going with these goals that I don't think are obtainable. I mean, I'm looking at just if I was doing it, and I don't see that as a reasonable thing. Looking at all the things that are needing to be done, and I don't. That's the last. I mean, I certainly. Emotionally, it's a horrible thing, but like from a responsibility from a board of health, which we are, we need to be really mindful of of the risk, and there is risk here. So that's my personal. Yes. Do you want us to make a motion, or do you want to talk about it more?
No, I just want to get everyone's feeling on that first. Dan?
I'm all told because I don't get choked up that often, but it's just, you have to go by your recommendations. If it's unsafe, it's unsafe. It's just, I mean, those heaters, I have a space heater for downstairs. I mean, you need at least, it comes right on the box, you need a minimum of 6 feet.
Yeah.
A minimum. So, I mean, and the way things burn, I mean, you have to look out for these people. That's just the way it is. I mean, this really, to me, I mean, I really don't know what to say. It's heartfelt, but it has to be done, right? Unfortunately, we have to make that decision. And Emily, you had the building inspector, we had Emily saying it's just unsafe. I mean, how would we feel if, we was responsible for a couple of, I mean, I didn't want to go that way.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that was helpful, just to, go ahead.
How about you? What do you feel?
Well, that's why I wanted to get more information, as far as like, I mean, it's urgent, but it's like, how urgent is urgent at this point? Is it ready to crack today, or, like how long, or just, just even, it's, even to give like another week at this point, you know what I mean, is questionable, but it's just, it's a huge, overwhelming situation at the same time. So I'm actually on the line of that myself. What were you saying, Dan?
But we also, it's possibly of good information. The lady, the owner's making, at least she's not giving up. She's looking at plumbers. I mean,
Right.
we went back 16 days
Right.
or whatever it was,
Right.
but at least she did it. The person didn't give up.
Right, she made some progress, exactly.
I mean, but
Right.
there's still an ongoing attempt. Like Paige said, there's a lot of work. I understand
It's
that.
limited progress, to be honest. If you were
But there's still
left
an
with
attempt.
your house
Right,
being
right.
removed, you and I would kill ourselves to
Oh,
get
yeah,
everything
yeah,
out and done.
absolutely.
And they just don't have the skill set to do that, quite frankly.
Exactly.
And
Well,
just
that's
trying
what
to
it boils
cover-
down to,
right.
and that's what I think we're all
Yeah.
skirting around.
Yeah.
Tony?
No, I think we all are emotionally, we have one decision, and we're all like, Jesus, what can we do?
Let me ask this: how comfortable would people be giving one more week, and then at that point, that's it? How comfortable are we with that?
So let me ask you this question, and I would love that. I would love that. But for what?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go.
Oh,
back
and
to
I'm begging the
Paige.
question.
And
That's
I think Paige hit it, and that's when we asked her goals, and I even dummied it down even more because I don't think it's realistic, and I'm not sure there's a capacity there to deal with the situation, and then we have to talk about the financial aspect of this whole thing too. And I
Seems
just think that week.
yeah. Oh no, I hear you. I'm just
I know, no,
think we're
because
all on the cusp of that.
I would love to solve this problem, but
Yep.
I'd love to help, but it's just
right,
real, yeah.
but you just can't. And so now it really, because I had a different opinion walking into this meeting,
I did too.
and now you hear about. I see the picture, and then there's a good point. I think Dan said too, if the fire comes in, they're not going to even. They're probably not even going to go in. Like, can they even make it in safely? And
Well,
as
I think the bigger thing for me is the ceiling thing. That's a huge thing too. So.
Well, what really strikes a chord with me, it's the fire, what happens, because Mike was, structurally we look at it,
Right.
and, until it's taken down apart, we're not going to know. So let's not even play that guessing game, just look at the more obvious.
It's going to be a guessing game. That's
exactly.
That's the
so, and
concern.
if that were the only issue, then I'd be like, well, but now that you're dealing with this volume of stuff, and one fire alarm functioning, I and it could have been put up yesterday when it was
It's
purchased.
not up yet.
It's
It's
not.
not up yet,
So when
yeah.
it was purchased,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that there's the capacity to take on such a task without assistance. And
Right,
there's
it doesn't look
no,
as
there's no assistance
Definitely, yeah,
that we see.
well, that's, yeah, definitely not without assistance. That's the bigger thing.
But then the flip side is now we've just played, now we put somebody in a situation where, like, we can't even know. And to Paige's point, safety should be first, but safety comes in many forms. But I like I said, I walked into this meeting.
No, I
thinking
agree.
something
I was on the same
different, but
page.
now
I was on a different page, I think, before when I came in. And
So
but to
then-
me, anyway, that the ceiling thing was
right.
the game changer. I think just
So
hearing
then-
more about the structure.
So then what happens? So if we say it's unfit, is there a period of time that you're given to, or what's it?
Or is that pretty immediate?
What has Andy done in the past? This would be my first.
Yeah, it's for everybody here.
So right. So I would
Yeah.
assume that then now I think
The next step, right?
the next steps come into play. If you know,
We need to find out the process
is
of
the
that.
town able to say, listen, you need to get that stuff out of the second floor cleaned up, and the plumbing, and then it's reassessed. I don't know. I don't want to set those high goals, but enough to get you back into the house. So let's just talk about that. What does it take to get somebody back into the house in this condition? Hey, Nicole?
No, it's
Nicole,
it's
Nicole, you wanna? Is there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Board, Madam Chair. The house is unfit for human habitation. They are packing the stuff they wouldn't need to keep. And I understand that 1 week seem, but they need to back up the basic clothing belongings
Right.
and find emergency housing.
Housing.
And after that 1 week period, you could possibly say, you can't go spend a lot of time there because the house is still uninhabitable. It needs to be cleaned out head to toe, inspected properly. And the foreclosure auction, I believe that was mentioned,
In November 17th.
November 17th. As somebody who lost the property to foreclosure auction during the 2008 financial problems, I'm not sure if even a bank would step in this close to foreclosure. Sorry.
Right.
ladies.
That's another element. Yeah.
That's another element.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get the general idea. I just, as far as emergency housing, it's critical at this point. You probably wouldn't want them sleeping there tonight, but it's a tough decision.
Thank you.
I just have a question.
Yep.
So, like Mr. Buxton said, so if it's declared unfit, then so that no one can go in then and clean it out? Is that what
Well,
they're
that's what
saying?
we're kind of
That's our question.
touching on. Yeah, that's our question with that. We don't
We've
have any Andy
had
here.
we've had buildings that have previously been condemned that have been rehabbed and are currently reoccupied. What is it? 58 North Street? Is that the right number? 54, 58 North Street.
I think so.
They had. I wasn't here when it was condemned, but I did do re-inspections to get it back to a habitable condition. So, it ended up being, like I said, I wasn't here, so I didn't get to see the beginnings, but it ended up being pretty nice, quite nice apartments. So it is possible. It's just a matter of funding.
Well, that's the key.
That- yeah,
That's the
so-
key. Yeah. Right.
I mean, there's back taxes owed that's being foreclosed on. It's a matter of
So
funding.
it would be more, for them, it would be more like getting emergency housing and looking for something besides this
Right,
home.
because
Right,
this
right.
Because
sounds
this
like
this
it's.
is beyond there.
Right.
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 But I think the question at hand right now is the whole, okay, you deem it unfit at this point. How quick does that take effect at this point? That's what we really need to find out. So how much time they'll have to get there.
I believe you can
Everything's-
set that time frame.
Good.
Well, that's what I want to know, though. I'm not even sure like what the average time frame is. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it would really be just to remove your belongings at this
Personal
point.
belongings.
Right, no, that's
Yeah.
why I just want to be reasonable,
So now
yeah.
we covering ourselves by saying, listen, not that this is the focal point, but by saying your house is unfit, we'll give you 2 days to remove your belongings.
Right, I just wanted to know what's the
Right,
typical,
right. So it's up to us.
yeah.
The state sanitary code states that at the same time or any time after the Board of Health issues a finding that a dwelling or portion thereof is unfit for human habitation, the board may issue an order condemning the dwelling or portion thereof and an order to vacate the portion thereof. And an order requiring the owner to secure the dwelling or portion thereof. If the dwelling or portion thereof, which is ordered to be secured, is unoccupied, then the owner or any other affected person shall have the right to request a hearing. We're at the hearing. No dwelling or portion thereof which is ordered to be secured shall be occupied without the prior written permission of the Board of Health. Again, so we would have to meet to.
So there's no real days, does not a matter of how many days they
Does not
give.
specify.
So once it's condemned, then it's just a matter of getting your belongings and moving forward.
Possibly rehabbing or moving
Right,
on
that
to
would
the
be
next
a
chapter
later
of
date.
your-
And
That
if
steps.
after 1 year, the building has not been brought up, the board can make a decision to, if we have funding, demolish
Right,
it.
right. It looks like it's going under
Yeah,
options.
well,
Well,
my feeling, yeah, it's like I hate to make that decision, you know, that's my role, but, I'm kind of going with that myself, so. 2 days,
3 days?
2 days or 3 days.
2 or 3 days?
You
What
wanna
is,
say three?
what is today? Today is
Thursday.
Thursday.
So that gives you a week, like through the weekend or through?
through the weekend.
You wanna
Through
say
the
3
weekend,
days?
So.
Is that
it gives them
reasonable, 3
time.
days?
I think it is because we're trying to be sensitive to what we're going to put them through,
Right.
but in the same sense too, it really is no other.
But only to get their possessions, that they don't live there. I think that's really important to be clear about that. It's only for possessions, to remove their possessions. Because once you deem something inhabitable, to then have them go back and live there for 4 days is not, something happened within that time, we would be culpable. So I would think it would be more about just removal of personal items.
Okay.
I think that would be important.
Well, I think they need at least 24 hours to find somewhere else to live.
Right, so
you know,
tonight,
yeah, because
so-
you
So
can't.
tonight, well, I don't know, I don't mean to be, I'm just that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Thinking
'cause
about
they're
it
gonna
from a
need some
different
time
way.
with that, so
Right.
you can't just say, okay.
So.
What do we feel is
uh,
reasonable for them to actually be out of the house versus, we say
Well,
24 hours or more than
No,
that?
I think I like what Paige is suggesting. We give them tonight, okay?
The 24 hours.
Tomorrow, effective tomorrow, it'll be inhabitable. You should work on getting your stuff up by the end of the, by the.
Yeah, the weekend is the 18th.
By Monday.
The
By
19th is
Monday.
Monday
by
morning.
Monday the 19th.
So let me make a motion. We can still
Okay.
talk about it. So,
Yeah.
I will make a motion to declare 209 Marcy Street unfit for human habitation, beginning Friday, September 16th. We will also allow until Monday the 19th to remove all personal belongings.
Do we want to put a time to that on Monday, 19th?
End of business.
End of business day, Monday? People agree with that?
I second it.
Okay. I'm going to say, so if we want to be more specific, do you want to say 5 p.m. Monday?
Sure.
So we can be specific.
Yeah.
But that they're
That's-
only living there tonight.
Tonight,
And
that's
then-
why,
then-
right, I
And they
said,
would
yeah,
not, and only to
tonight,
remove
so
possessions.
tomorrow, right.
So starting for tonight, you want to do the full 24 hours starting, just to be specific, so it's
So
like
one night,
7:30
which is
p.m.
tonight.
Yep, 7:30 p.m., okay. Okay.
All right, so we have a motion to declare 209 Marcy Street unfit for human habitation beginning Friday, September 16th, correct?
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Until Monday, September 19th, end of business day, which would be 5 p.m.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And a second page Shutka. I'm gonna do a roll call.
Oh, hold on one moment. I just wanted to make sure. So the time for Friday the 16th, by that time. Because if we're just saying by, starting tomorrow,
Right.
I mean, it could be like 7 in the morning and
Right,
that's not
but
enough
how about
time.
like say noon, so at noon, so they spend the night tonight, they're out of there by noon tomorrow.
Okay.
I'd
And
say,
then from, is that all right?
I'd say about 5 p.m.
5
tomorrow.
p.m.? Okay, 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And then from there,
Right.
then
Gives
it's
them,
just,
gives time.
Yeah,
to
yeah, because I think that's too,
oh, that's
yeah.
24 hours
Take,
almost.
right,
Yeah.
and take what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully you
Sorry.
can get the
Dave?
situation.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
This
yeah,
is
so
a
we'll
hard one.
specify, yeah. So by Friday the 16th, 5 p.m., they no longer can live
So the
there.
original motion doesn't pass.
Finesse, right?
I just want to be
Just gets
specific so we
amended
don't.
to add 5 o'clock.
Can you?
Yeah, so, so to declare, 209 Marcy Street,
Unfit for him.
unfit for human habitation, beginning Friday, September 16 at 5 p.m.
There.
Yes. Yep.
We, and then allowing the weekend up to, Monday, September 19th, 5 p.m.
Mhm.
to remove all belongings.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Roll call. Anthony Postoli,
Regretfully, yes.
Paige Shutka,
Regretfully, yes.
Nicole Duffy,
Yeah, regretfully, yes.
Dan Grabowski,
Yes.
and Jasmine Canona is excused. Abstained.
Abstained, yep.
Can we make sure that
Yeah,
the
you
tenants
want
and the
those.
occupants understand the motion that was
Did you want to
just
come
made?
forward? I'm so sorry.
We're,
And you don't have to speak if you don't want. We completely hated doing this decision. But do you understand? I just want to make sure that you understand. So both of you have until tomorrow, 5 p.m., Friday, to not live there. But you have until Monday, at the end of business day, 5 p.m., the 19th, to have whatever belongings you're going to take with you. Okay? And if there's any other questions or anything you have, you can call us, but that's,
But that doesn't mean though you give up. If you can
right,
find the
there is a,
assistance
yeah,
to get that second floor cleaned up.
right,
You know, and this is why if you look at the second floor and you can get that cleaned up and clean up, downstairs, then we can,
yeah. We just need to make sure you're safe.
They can,
Well-
Friday can come in our house.
We just have to make sure that you're safe at this point. That, what he's saying is that there is a chance that, that doesn't mean that, there is a possibility you could still keep that house. You can go forward with that. It's just right here, right now. You can't stay in that house. It's just for your safety at this point. They had mentioned, there were other properties that were rehabbed, so this is where you can kind of go forward with that. But, we're so sorry, but, our hands are tied with that.
I've sat through a lot of Board of Health meetings over the years, or at least 50.
Mhm.
And this is a gray area. I think, do you folks know who actually owns a house if it's in probate? Like when this lady says, and she's being honest, if it's her and her brothers and sisters, that's what probate will decide. But whenever this has happened before, not in this circumstance, but whenever a house is found to be in not a livable condition for whatever reason, I have always, now maybe the law has changed since, but it seems like you folks are as saddened about this as others in the room.
Absolutely.
Didn't the town have to provide a room until it was brought in order?
I
If
think
they
it
were
was
not the owners.
the owner. Well, that's a
They're
good
not the
point
owners.
because when we talk, remember the fire suppression system, Hunter was the
Wanna sit
owner
down?
and we made them
You can sit
put
with
them
them
up. But the whole
But
thing is they're the
those,
owners.
they were the tenants.
Right.
We were looking for,
But that, right,
They're the
so,
they're the tenants.
right.
yeah.
Right. So we asked that, and unfortunately, Mom owned the house, and then it just kind of went down So I don't know who else.
Well, I think the question is it in probate still? If it is, I think they'd be looked at like a tenant. If it has actually been cleared and it's a deed that's held by this lady and her siblings, it's probably, you're probably right on, spot on. But if they don't actually own it, I think they're protected by the same way a tenant would be. It's not, the language isn't that if it's a tenant, it's if it's not the owner. The owner doesn't have as many rights. And that's just my concern, that you were talking, there was discussion about possible future litigation. They're not saying it, and I'm always looking out for the stuff, because I got clobbered with litigation 30 years ago. It's a possibility that it might be less expensive to get a place for a room until it's determined by the town's attorney.
Right.
But I'm just opening my big mouth.
And we appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah.
So again, I obviously can speak for everyone here who we're so sorry. We just, it's just way too big of a risk to take with that.
Yeah, just keep on plugging away at it. And then call the department when you've made some progress, and they'll come out and look at it.
Yeah.
And like Nicole said, you know, I think we all came in here with different.
We did.
A different opinion before we started. But then, as we started to discuss, you know, I don't know if you heard me say it, saying, you know, safety, we're putting you into an uncomfortable situation, but at the end of the day, if there was ever a fire in that house, I know that you say that there's a little walkway, but that's not the way you should be living just because of that. You know, it's a lousy thing, but just keep on plugging away at it.
Right.
And easier said than for us.
Right, all is not lost at this point, but you know, there's that possibility. It's just right here, right now. This is what we need to do at this point. And if there's anything that come our way that maybe we think can help you, we'll reach out to you as well. And if you have questions or anything, you can feel free to call us. I mean, you know, we really do want to help. It's just at this point in time, that's, you know, we have to make that decision. So I truly wish you the best of luck with everything. Paige, can you do me a favor? Can you
Yes.
hold
We're
it?
back to
Can you go
citizens'
back?
forum.
Yes.
Thank you. Let her know. Thank you.
We never closed it.
Very graceful to get out.
Yeah, I know.
No,
No, we didn't.
I know.
No, we had to switch over to
That's a good
tobacco.
point, though, to check
to
about the
open
whole
up public hearing,
probate
we didn't
that he was
close it.
talking about, though. I made a note of that.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have any guidance right now. so
I
it's-
know.
Yeah,
I know.
we're just trying the best we
And
can,
you
what we
know,
have.
Sad, you still never be able to look it up.
You guys know how things are in town, if you're like on a break right now,
Mm.
where people tell you things you're not supposed to know.
Mm.
I heard someone likes it, she has a good work ethic, but she can't get any help because she isn't the owner,
Mm.
which left me to suspect
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's in probate.
Yeah.
There might be a little disagreement between siblings on how it's done.
yeah,
So that's why I think to, what do they say,
yeah.
err in the,
Side
Right.
caution.
Side of caution.
what's a couple, what's a hotel room?
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, I think they're a little bummed out, they lost their mom. When you're depressed like that, you don't make smart decisions.
I
I'm
hear
more
you.
worried about it now than when I was before.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun decision for that. We have, no, well, we gotta move
I
on
think
with
we were
this.
still on Citizens Forum.
I'm sorry?
I believe we were still on Citizens Forum.
Citizens Forum, is there anyone present that would like to bring up something that's not already on the agenda? I know there's two of you, but
I'd like to say, even though,
Sure.
I think I've interfered or put in my 2 cents worth on 3 or 4 decisions in the last 2 meetings. I hope you all know I'm not being critical of any of you.
No,
I'm just saying what's coming out, wording out.
no, I appreciate your
It's,
comments, I do.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't think I've recognized, I haven't gone to many meetings in the last year or 2. I used to go up, what's nice is when there's someone around that's been on the board for 10 years, and they have that.
Right, the experience. I agree
Right,
100%.
yeah. Thank you for your comments, though. Okay. All right, I guess we'll go to the next one. Let me see.
So do you close it?
Oh, I thought he was gonna come back in to make a comment.
Hopefully
Okay.
he's coming up on some.
Okay, citizens forum, we're gonna close that. And to the next agenda item number 5, vote to support the technical recycling coordinator grant and recommend to council. Thoughts?
My thought is, town council, is I think, let me take that back. I don't think I'm not sure what town council has done to this point, but I think they're well past this point and there is a proposal that they may be looking at. So I support any assistance that we can give or anybody else, but I'm concerned that does this make them take a step back when we're getting closer to the window we need to be in to finalize this. That makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
good point.
I think anything we can do to assist is wonderful, and
Well, and that's why, to me, we're in the position of supporting what's
Right.
already on the table.
So we support it.
It's, yeah.
And it's up to, ultimately up to.
It's not
Up
a,
to,
yes, Ms. Kenny?
Are you talking about the pay-as-you-throw technical assistance?
The technical assistant,
grant,
yes,
yeah.
correct.
There's nothing wrong with applying for a grant for technical assistant. You're not committing us to anything.
Yeah.
You're just applying for a grant. So this lady can come in and assist us in looking at pay-as-you-throw. So I see no reason to vote this down. You're not committing us to it. You're just applying for a grant so that she can come in.
Yeah, and she also spoke about different variables that she had, that she
Right,
did different
yeah.
presentations for
Right.
different sets of like removals. So I mean, I think, this is and by the way, it's a free service and, I
Right.
mean, there's no losses here. I don't think is an I statement, there's only gains because you get to really understand, where, everything's going.
Right, it's a good point. Why say no to any free money, any free assistance? I just want to make sure it's not getting in the way of what was already done, but that comes at the discretion of town council.
That's what I'm saying, that's why it was a little murky for me at
Yeah,
first, because I'm
honestly,
like,
I'm struggling with this.
what's new? Because this has been on there for a long time, and
Right.
it's just yes.
Thank you.
Councilman
Through
Finn.
you. Because you can apply for the grant, that's why we need your assistance with this. We need the Board of Health's assistance in determining pay-as-you-throw, or if we want to do a transfer station. That is a Board of Health's purview, so that's why we need your assistance. Yes, we could get Peg Dean to apply
Right.
for the grant, but you can also apply for the grant. So that's why I would
Right.
recommend that you apply for
Well, there was
the
a whole lot of conversation going on with that, so I think it's more of a, what do we do what do you need from us right here, right now,
Exactly.
was the
So
question.
Come in and talk to us and help us
Right.
decide whether we want to use pay-as-you-throw. It sounded interesting to me, and I'd like to hear more about it.
So my suggestion is to dedicate a meeting and to have council come in to talk about what they have, so we can get caught up to speed on currently what's going on. But if it's just right now to.
It's the facility, it's the,
Just to get the support?
technical coordinator on there.
What is the harm?
Yeah, in my mind, that was what we're really looking to,
Yeah.
that's on our end.
And they had started a council and, something to that effect. So, I mean, who knows even where
Right.
they're at with that. So, yeah.
Right, so I'm looking at this piece, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's what we're looking for. Does anybody want to entertain a motion for this?
I'll make a motion to support the technical assistant grant. That's it.
A second.
Okay, thank you.
You, Jasmine Quinones.
Yeah,
Paige
yes,
Sitka.
sorry. Yeah.
Right?
It's,
Right, right. That way now, at least if that's what's needed from
She's
us.
got it,
Paige
okay.
Sitka.
She got your name.
Yes, yes.
Oh, to send up to town council?
Nicole Duffy?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Can I,
Yes.
can I amend that? Can I amend,
Sure.
withdraw
Yeah,
and amend?
yeah.
So I want to just say, I want to make a motion to support the technical assistant grant, and to push it along to town council.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I
You
have
want
a
to second
second?
that again?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay.
This one's gonna be Paige Sitka.
She's getting better.
Anthony Pasali.
Yes.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Nicole Duffy.
Yes,
Paige Sitka.
Yes.
Jasmine Quinones.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Motion
Thank
passes.
you. Okay. Agenda item number 6, old business, blight update.
It's all over the place, don't just kidding. What's the street? Henry
Worcester Street, with the corner of
Oh.
Worcester and Henry, it has been cleaned, trimmed up. It is
Oh.
no longer
Oh,
a
that
issue
Henry
for
Street?
pedestrians.
No.
I saw
Tony's
it, I
all,
saw
yeah.
it the other, I'm like, now people can walk.
It's not beautiful, it's not perfect, but it's
but
better.
that's okay,
It's,
because
it's
it was
not it's
all
not an
over
issue
Henry.
for pedestrians
Good.
anymore, which is what's important. Now it just looks like
Until we find
They've
little
got
critters in
some
there
growth.
stalking, you know? Someone's gonna walk by and they get dragged in by something.
Yeah. Well, that's good. At least that's
That's good.
improved.
oh, do we have anything else going on in town? Nothing major.
I'm not, I hesitate to ask, but just for the heck of it, Vienna.
I don't think we have anything concrete on that. There was rumors
Still,
that
yeah.
they'd sell, but I don't think
Still
there's anything
nothing, yeah.
further.
I kind of figured it's nothing really. Okay, thanks.
Turned into a shelter.
There we go.
So any other blights or nothing else?
No. we don't
Nothing
have
else?
any other
Okay, great.
updates.
Okay, next item is the update on the autumn cleanup. You want to get specific where we're meeting and times for that?
No, that's not the autumn. Oh yeah.
The autumn cleanup, yeah.
Ha, I'm thinking the festival this weekend.
Well, yeah, I almost gonna look at that way too.
All right, my bad. I'm gonna pass
Okay.
those around. Oh, thank you. Thank
I felt bad for
you.
Emily. She had these already last week and,
That's okay. You only get
couldn't
one.
do it. Oh,
Tony.
thank you.
Have some for some happy news.
Okay.
Yeah, Summer and I have been
Okay.
working hard, trying to plan everything, get it all
Perfect.
together. So as we previously discussed, Saturday, October 8th, 8:30 a.m. to noon with a rain date of October 9th, we will be hosting the first annual Boo to Phi Southbridge fall cleanup event.
It's got a catch, doesn't it?
The
It does.
idea again is, you know, we have our spring cleanup and it's great and we had an awesome turnout this year from what I hear.
You good?
It engages the community, it cleans up the streets, but they get dirty too quickly. We've got trick or treat coming up. There's nip bottles, there's alcohol, there's trash all along the streets throughout town. So really I want to get the streets cleaned up just because it's the right thing to do, but also so those kids that are trick or treating are safe and it looks good. Help clean up the
Absolutely.
town. Keep
Yep,
it
that's
clean,
what we do.
guys.
Nice flyer.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, we'll be here at what time? 8, 7:45, 8 o'clock to set up.
7:30.
Okay.
We'll be
8 o'clock,
providing 8 o'clock. Okay, I won't go too early. We'll be providing the trash bags, gloves for collection, the pickers for all that. Costumes are welcome. See if anybody wants to dress up. Anything else you can think of? We'd love for you guys to join us.
I will definitely join you. I did last year. It'd be awesome.
Any questions?
Awesome. I do not. My only thing is actually if I could get some more copies of these, I'd love to
Absolutely.
like drop them off at like the library at YMCA and things like that.
Yeah, and I'll pass this along with, like, meetings, like what you
Okay,
like that I
Yeah.
have.
I will
and I'm on
distribute
different
some for
boards, so-
everybody.
Is this on the Access channel?
We have not put it up yet. I brought it today for everyone to look at and
Approval,
approval
blessing.
or say you hate it
Oh,
and
absolutely.
throw it away.
I hate it. I hate
It's light
it.
and fun, thank you.
Well, I don't like it.
You don't like
I don't like that. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
don't like
No,
bats?
I'm just kidding.
No.
No, it's great. It's really, I like the boo thing, beautify thing.
Yep.
Whatever.
Catchy.
Yeah.
So moving on, so next is the Autumn Festival. Now we speak of the Autumn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at this, looks festive,
know.
why wouldn't you think
I
that?
know.
Okay, update on the Autumn Festival?
Okay, so we've secured the table. We have all the bags and all the supplies that are needed. Emily and I will be there for most of the morning, and with the
Okay.
board support, hopefully you guys can show up
I will.
anytime between 1 and 5 just to give us a break and,
Sure.
talk to the people. And
So you're all set with the setting up and stuff?
yep, we're all set with that.
Because,
And we can go help you at any time though, right? You said?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
if you need additional help, I'm always
Yeah, I'm
available.
gonna
Thank
be,
you.
I'll be
You know what I mean?
popping
I'll
in
text
too,
you.
yep.
Yeah,
I'll be there with bells on.
wonderful.
Yep,
Good
awesome.
to
Get a
know.
I'd
sticker.
like to see that.
Yep.
You have Board of Health shirts on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
But I'm glad.
Thank you, Dan.
It's very nice to see that you ladies,
We're trying.
stepping up to do this. I mean, that's a big thing.
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
It's always the behind the scenes people that
It
Yeah.
always is.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather's gonna be beautiful, so hopefully,
It's
it'll be a
perfect.
good turnout
So-
for the town.
That'd be great.
Are we doing like any, like, is there is there like some kind of a wardrobe that, like, should we all,
No.
did you
No.
all want us to
No.
wear like a white
You
shirt?
gotta wear fuzzy like costumes. Pink. Definitely, I'm glad you
I like
brought
the
that
bear
up.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
brought it
oh,
up.
yeah.
The bear slippers.
Who
Yeah.
wants to second that motion?
That'd be nice.
So-
That'd be nice. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, so.
Yeah, I am too, actually. Okay. So in the next agenda, item number 7 is chairman announcements. Mine will actually be kind of combining with the Autumn Festival, actually. What I had spoken to Mertz about this. I'm gonna actually have, because I think we all spoke, well, I know before you two were here, I'm sorry, we talked about how mental health is critical at this point. I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you live it. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a listing of some hotlines available when we're at that festival and have that available. One of them is, one's not so much a hotline, it's just it's a flyer from the Carriage House in Worcester, and it's basically they provide it's support groups for it's children and
Adolescent, yeah.
teens,
Mhm.
yeah, for anyone that's had a loss, if it's a parent or a main caregiver or a
Yeah, it's their
sibling.
grieving support.
Yep, it's grieving. So I think that's very
Wayside
important.
has kind of like the same thing too in Charlton.
But this one's like for free, you know what I mean? And
No,
it's just,
Wayside's
it's
free.
all like,
Yeah, Wayside's is free.
it's all the volunteer stuff.
Yeah, Wayside is actually, I think, not as recognized as much, and it's a free service too.
I'll have to check that out too.
Yeah, Wayside is
For the longest time, it's just
good.
Carriage House, that's it.
Yeah, and so now Wayside is also here in Charlton, right across the street from CVS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look over, get
so
some funny-
and
I'll
we
have to
do
check
a
that
lot
out,
of
too.
we do a lot of patient referrals to Wayside. Yeah.
Yeah, because the longest time, there's no one doing kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just the Carriage House.
And
that
so
was it.
now, like even in town, we're seeing a big bump in grandparents raising grandchildren, and I'm actually starting like 2 support groups, one in English, one in Spanish. And then I'm also, one of those is going to be just strictly support. Another one is going to be like almost like team building exercises, you know, like how to get to know, you know, your teenagers, or how to get to know, you know, or how to work together. So, so yeah, we're trying, you know, to dive into certain mental health.
And when's
things.
that, when you gonna have it?
So Ewing, I'm coming, the referral system is starting from Ewing, but I want to open it
Okay.
to the general public.
Okay.
So, so I have to see whether, you know, the DMH billing will allow me to open, live billing
Yeah,
wise
yeah,
open it,
yeah.
or do I have to keep it, but, you know, but we're gonna get there, and as soon as that's done, I'll make sure that to
Yeah.
disperse all the flyers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, because as you know, it's like at this point, it's like any resource at this
Oh,
point.
yeah,
It's just,
we're in dire straits.
you
here.
gotta grab it, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, so we'll be having that there. Anyone else? Board member announcements? Nothing?
I just think we have a great board. I mean,
Thank
with the pickups, with Jasmine and, I mean, I know what my position is. Believe me, I mean, everyone here is great. And we had a tough decision tonight. I'm still choked up about it.
Yeah, I am
really
too, yeah. I think we all are, yeah.
I mean, and I'm happy for Mr. Swadia too, because I mean, I can understand his point. If it wasn't for the fact that what the gentleman from the Lexington Tobacco said, I was voting, guilty all the way through. But because I had different intention tonight with 209, with Swadia, things worked out. But that second decision was really crippling.
You see, I like, and just to kind of add to that, I like the fact that everyone here is willing to look at the big picture, obviously. We all, certain things, we all had a different, we were all in a different mindset, and then we heard it all out, and we're like, yep, we weigh it out, and we chose differently, so I think
we're not
that's
here
good.
to hurt the town.
We're not.
We live in it.
Exactly, yeah.
Safeguard the town.
Yeah, exactly. And so.
Is anyone
Madam
else?
Chair,
Yes.
of the three people that were sitting here, along with the two women, the three people have talked to them, and we're gonna, as realistically as possible, try to help them understand that they need to move out for now. They need to look at long-term, their situation. I was very explicit. I said, if you're open to help, we can find you help amongst the community to help you. And she seemed open to that. So
Yeah, well, we wish her the
in the
best.
long run,
It's a complex thing, we wish her the best, yeah. So anyone else have any? Jasmine, nothing? No? Okay. Schedule next meeting. I need to double check my calendar. Jasmine, if you want to check yours, I know you've got a packed one.
Yeah, I'll just, whatever y'all,
Let me see.
I'll work around whatever y'all do.
So I know normally we do the second Thursday of the month, but I actually have something to do on October the 6th, which is a Thursday, so I don't know
If we can bump it to the 20th then, if you wanted to go the 6th, I'm going on Nature's Classroom with Trinity, so I'm gone the whole week
Oh, I
before.
remember that.
Yeah, second time around. So does it 20th, is that too far out?
the 20th I got something to. Is 13th okay, or no? Is that when you're busy?
No, that's normally what the normal meeting would be on the 13th, I thought.
No, no,
Yeah.
you're right. Well, I'm looking, you know what? I'm looking at the line ahead there.
Oh.
I'm going too far, okay.
the
So we will
13th?
do the 13th, there you go, October
I'm having
13th.
dental surgery
If
that
that's
morning,
okay.
but if I, unless I'm like, but I have it all, it's just for an implant, so I've had it a lot of different times, but just if I'm not here, I'll text you and let you know, but most, I should be here. Oh yeah,
You
don't
have to
worry.
drag yourself in for that.
Oh, that's fine. It'll just be throbbing, but it's gonna throb anyways.
Until the anesthesia
No,
wears out,
no,
yeah.
it's not. Yeah, it's this is my 5th implant, so I'm a professional.
They're expensive.
Oh, I know. I have lots of. Yeah, I have good teeth. Expensive teeth, which makes me sad. Anyway, yes.
Oh,
so
geez.
just
As
so
much as a
please, so if
Tesla.
I'm not here, that would be the reason why, and that would be very unusual, or I have an ice pack on.
No, we got
Oh
it.
my goodness, yeah.
It's fine, but otherwise, just because I'd like the 13th makes sense.
6 p.m.
Are you sure?
6 p.m.?
Okay, 6
Sounds
p.m.,
good. Sorry
October
about that.
13th.
Sorry to even share
No
that
problem.
with you,
Sorry
but
about
No,
that.
stop.
Trust me, I get a lot of money in my mouth too.
I can't believe it.
Believe me, yeah, it never stops.
Wish it would go.
All right,
Thank you.
and, okay, entertain a
I'll make
a
a motion to adjourn.
Tony, a second?
I'll second it.
All right,
Nicole Duffy?
yes.
Anthony Pascali?
Yes.
Jasmine Canonis?
Yes.
Jen Grabowski?
Yes.
Paige Studdard?
Yes.
Thank you.